This is an easy and fun way to make custom stamps with sticky back craft foam and scissors. I like to use stamps to personalize gift wrap, greeting cards, and gift tags. I'm using foam core for the stamp back. First I traced the outline of the foam core and then did a simple sketch of a bow. I'm using tracing paper to transfer the drawing to the craft foam. I traced it and then flipped it over and traced it again so the graphite is transferred to the craft foam. I use these little registration marks in case my drawing slips while I'm tracing. I can line it up again. Make sure you transfer the inside lines as well. I use tracing paper because the graphite transfers really well off the tracing paper. So here you could also just do a rubbing and the graphite would transfer to the craft foam. So now we have our drawing on our craft foam and we're ready to cut it out. First I cut around the shape generally, then I go back and cut into the details. Once your shape is cut out, you're ready to peel off the backing from the sticky back craft foam and stick it down to your stamp block. Here you can use foam core or cardboard or wooden blocks. The next step is to incise the lines, the detail lines inside the shape. So I'm using a pencil and pressing down hard, and I go over each line a couple times. A few supplies you'll need for the printing process is Speedball water-soluble block printing ink, pellet paper, a palette knife, and a brayer. I squeeze a little bit of the ink out on the palette paper and use the palette knife to mix it up. Sometimes I use the palette knife also to collect the ink when it gets spread out too thin, especially when I'm working with children. So here I'm inking the brayer and I go back and forth a few times each direction. Now I want to put the ink on evenly without letting it get into those incised lines. So I just roll it across, and here I use my finger a bit to smooth it out because I had a little bit too much ink on there. Now I'm ready to print on my gift tag, which is just poster board or cardstock, or you could use index cards cut down to a size just slightly larger than your stamp block. Here I'm using a color box pigment stamp pad. I wanted to make a stamp of a pine cone and I thought it would be too complex, but I simplified my drawing and I'm going to try it out here. So I'm using my finger because I couldn't get the stamp pad to apply the ink evenly. So with my finger I can smooth it out and I know that it's an even coverage. So sometimes I pound it so I'm getting some even pressure all the way around the stamp. Just make sure you don't wiggle it because you'll get some smudgy images. You also can carefully flip it over and apply even pressure with a flat hand. finish the gift tags, I like to punch a hole and add some ribbon.